Hi, I am Saili Kazare from Team 6 and my team members are Bhushan Warke, Vrushank Doshi, Jenil Doshi and Jyotsna Chadda. We are showcasing the functionality on high availability and dynamic resource scheduling in VMware vSphere client under the guidance of Professor Shim Simon. The demo is divided into two parts. Part 1 will be focusing on high availability and Part 2 will be focusing on dynamic resource scheduling. To begin with Part 1, let us understand its objective. The objective states that in case a vhost fails, then we have to migrate that VM in all the VMs in that particular host to another available host. There will be other points such as cluster creation, data store creation and VM migration, testing the configuration, preparing the cluster for high availability and testing the system for HA, which will be covered later. Now, to check whether a host is working, we have the heartbeat mechanism. First one is the network heartbeat mechanism. In that, each slave will send a heartbeat to its master and the master sends a heartbeat to its slave. If a slave is not receiving any heartbeat from the master, it will be determined as the host is failed. The next mechanism is the data store heartbeating, which enables a master to more accurately determine the state of a host that is not reachable via the management network. We have used the data store heartbeating mechanism in our demonstration. Now, this is our vSphere client. This infrastructure shows that this is our data center T06DC. Now first we'll begin the demonstration with the creation of a cluster. Basically, what is a cluster? A cluster is a group of hosts wherein when you add a host to a cluster, the host resources become part of the cluster's resources. We are to enable vSphere high availability and vSphere distributed resource scheduler, we have created the cluster. We can create the cluster as follows. Just right click on the data center, click on new cluster, give a name to the cluster, say for example TC_06, then click on next with the default settings and then click on finish. This will be the cluster that will be created. Initially there were no hosts in this cluster. After dragging them from the data center, we've got all the hosts in the cluster along with all the VMs. Now the next part of the demonstration will be continued by my friend Jyotsna.
Hi, I'm Jyotsna. Once the cluster is created, to test the configuration, we are performing live migration. To perform live migration, click on the host and then select configuration and then select networking and then select properties and then select VM network and enable promiscuous mode and then go to management network and then enable vMotion. We need to perform this step for all the hosts available. Now we are adding a data store for every host. To create a data store, click on the host, then configuration tab, and then select storage, and then add storage, and then select network file system, and then click next and give the server details. And then folder details and then data store name. And then click next and then finish. Now perform this step for all hosts available. To enable high availability feature, we are moving the virtual machine from previous data store to a newly created data store. To move virtual machine, click on the virtual machine and select migrate and click on change data store and select the data store to which it has to be moved. Perform this step for all the virtual machines available. To test the configuration is successful, we are migrating the virtual machine in live mode from one host to the another of the same data store. For this, we have to select the virtual machine, click migrate, select change host, select the host it has to be moved and click next.
Hi, I am Bhushan. Till now we have done setting up the basic configuration. Now to enable the high availability feature into our system, we'll continue configuring our cluster. So to do this, we need to right click on a cluster, go into edit settings, check on the checkbox for turn on vSphere HA, click OK. It will start configuring the cluster. It's in progress, so it will take a little time. We'll get back till it's completed. We can see here our vhosts are now configured for high availability. Now to check the system for high availability, we will have to fill one of our hosts from our clusters, so that when the vhost fails, the VMs from that vhost gets transferred automatically to another vhost which is alive, which is active. So to simulate this, we'll be reconfiguring our 183 server and we'll be reconfiguring its NIC to disconnect the network connectivity. Before getting to it, we'll first see that in our 183 host we have two VMs, VM01, VM02, and in 182 host we don't have any VM. So configuring 183, we'll go to the admin vCenter, go into the console, configure our 183 host to get disconnected from the network. So this is our configuration. So we have successfully disconnected our 183 host. This will take a little time, so we'll wait until it gets reconnected. We can see the red mark over here, so it means that it's getting disconnected. It's not alive. The heartbeat is not getting received from the 183 host. So the 183 host is now disconnected. Now according to our high availability configuration, the VMs should get migrated from 183 to 182. So you can see successfully VM01 is migrated to this, and accordingly 182 will also get migrated. The VM02 will get migrated to 182. It will take a little time, so we'll wait until it gets completed. So you can see over here our 182 now has both the virtual machines VM01 and VM02 that were initially into 183. So we have successfully configured our system for high availability, and this was part 1. Part 2 will be continued by Rushank and Janil Doshi. Thank you.